Hello everybody, Dave here, and apologies if you can hear a whirring noise. I've got the heater on because it's a bit cold today. I'm here obviously to do some more on the unit, and to be fair, I've just spent probably 20 minutes eating this cob and looking over what I've done. Also, apologies about the light up there. There's not a lot I can do about it. Yeah, so it's looking good, and I've got a lot to do today, or at least my plan on my way over here was, or is, to get this sanded down now with its light sanding. Using my fine sponge sander. Yeah, sand it all down and then get a clear coat on it. But as I was sitting here eating my sandwich, I'm struggling with a few things. And for anyone that's been watching this series, you may have noticed that over the past few videos I've mentioned that I'm struggling a bit physically and stuff like that, and I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last few, not a lot of thinking. I found myself okay, for anyone that's been watching these videos, if you remember the very first video, there's a reason why I'm doing these videos and why I'm doing this woodworking. And throughout majority of this, I have been on an upward curve. But the last few weeks, I don't know, I feel like I'm sort of coming down again. And the only way I can really describe it is I'm just kind of feeling numb to everything. Like, I watch comedies and I don't laugh. I don't find them funny. And things that I quite often enjoy, I just haven't really got much desire to do some of the stuff. Yeah, so I am kind of struggling a bit. That's not to say that certain thoughts have been creeping back, but obviously I've been concerned about the possibility of certain thoughts creeping back, which has then got me thinking about certain thoughts. And it's a very, I wouldn't say it's a slippery slope, but it's one of those things, you don't think about it, it's not on your mind, but then you worry about it and then it's on your mind. So for example, I had a dream last night where I can't remember a lot of the dream, but I do remember that part of the dream I was on the telephone to the doctors. A nurse had rang me, and I was explaining pretty much this to her. So because obviously it had infiltrated my dream, when I woke up today, I'm like, did I have a phone call? Did I actually have a conversation on the phone with anyone today? Which I don't think I did. I haven't checked because I in a way, at some point I'm going to have to. But I'm pretty sure I have not received a phone call this morning about, or phoned anyone this morning. But obviously when I wake up, to me it seems like I did, and it seems very real, so it's on my mind. So yeah, so I'm definitely struggling. I mean, you might be able to see it just from looking at me. I don't look I look like I've aged a lot in this last year, and I've put a lot of weight on, and I'm looking tired, bags under the eyes, and I am tired. I've been tired for weeks now. I've not had a good sleep for, I don't remember how long. So yeah, so I'm kind of feeling numb to life, and one of the things that I remember from this dreamt phone call was me saying, I haven't really got anything to live for. And as sad as it sounds, in a way, it's true. So I thought someone was coming in. You might do. So I know my brother's here. So, yeah. I don't have a missus. I don't have kids that I know of. Not that I necessarily want a missus or kids. I don't want kids, to be fair. I really don't. And some people can't understand that. But if you know me, and like if you've been watching this series, you can understand why I might not want kids. It's not to say that I'm going to do anything, but I'm definitely on a bit of a downward slope at the moment. But on the upside, I'm aware of it. If I wasn't aware of it, that'd be the time for people to be concerned. But I am aware of it, and I am trying to take steps to go on the up. Now, there are a few things that have happened recently. I mean, not to say that this unit has set me back, but obviously it hasn't helped in that I realised I made a misjudgment and I had to do some sort of repair stroke touch-up work and so on. But that's... someone is here. Okay, sorry about that. Right, my dad's still in it, by the way, so I'm going to talk a bit quiet. Can't remember what I was saying now. Anyway, let's crack on with today's stuff. I will say that while I'm recording this, I have actually been busy already. I think it's been, I don't know, a couple of hours. Where my dad and my brother have been in here. So, what have I done? Okay, so the plan for today was to check the work I'd done last week, sand everything down, and give it a clear coat, and then hopefully be done for, well, hopefully that's finished. Now I've done all of that. I'm just now waiting for the clear coat to dry, and looking at it, I think it needs another one, and I'm pretty sure on the top. And the reason I think it needs another one is because the top is really shiny and the sides are not quite there yet. So I'm thinking it needs another one. I'm pretty sure with the top I did put quite a few coats on the top. I think it was 4 at least. So yeah, I'm going to leave this to dry for a little while, and then I think I'm going to have to put another coat on it. Now, what I've already noticed is that even though I've sanded everything down, obviously, on a bit on the side here that's already just about dry, I can feel it's got a few, it basically needs smoothing down. But obviously when I sanded it earlier, it did smooth down quite nicely. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so I'm going to have to put another coat on at least. Now I'll show you on the camera. So as you can see, the top has got a really good shine on it, and the colour on the front and the sides is really coming up now, but it just hasn't quite got that level of shine. So I mean, it could just be because of the lighting. I'll get the torch on it in a minute, but it is looking better. Now on the back, similar to what I did when I was putting the stain on, although it doesn't look great on the camera at the moment, again it could just be the lighting. I did put quite a thickish coat on the back of clear coat, because the back isn't going to be seen, but you see I've got a nice reflection off it. I wanted to kind of use it as a bit of a test as to how much I can get away with splattering on, really. And to be fair, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I know it doesn't look great on camera at the moment, but It's the shine and reflection and marks that I'm looking for. Right, I'll hold the camera for a second, so you don't get blinded by the light. Yeah, regarding what I was on about earlier, I don't want to say too much now because people may be within earshot, even though I'm putting this out public. Yeah, it's about all I can say on that one. I was saying something about if I wasn't aware, that's when I'd be worried, and that's when other people should probably be worried. I mean, I wouldn't worry anyway, but you never know. Tired, really tired. I've got no energy. I mean, one of the plus sides of my brother and my dad coming over today is that it pretty much made me stop recording straight away, and to cover the fact that I was recording something, I had to just start doing stuff. So it meant that I've cracked on, so that's a positive. So yeah, just waiting now for this to dry. I mean, looking at it, I mean, it's difficult to judge the front of it because obviously looking at it without any drawers in it or the door on it, you get to see the difference in where stain is and where it isn't, and it looks a bit nasty, to be fair. So it's very difficult to judge how the front looks. So I'm kind of just going on, well, it don't look too bad, so let's see how we get on. I can't quite make a start on the door yet, unfortunately, because I haven't got anywhere to put it while I'm working on it, because the unit's on my table. So yeah, kind of a little bit stuck with that one for the moment. And if this is going to need, well, it is going to need another clear coat, I'm pretty much certain of that, then I don't think the door's getting done today, because if I get the other clear coat on today, it needs time to dry, at least an hour, but then it needs time to cure. Okay, now the coat I've put on today already, yes, that needs an hour until you can put another coat on it, but then that still needs time to cure, really. So yeah, just wait now. I think I might have a chocolate bar. It's weird, I don't know what to say today, so I'm going to stop. Okay, update time. I have put the second clear coat on. Now, I've not put it on the back, because the back looks, to be fair, I think it looks beautiful. So it doesn't need doing anymore. Plus the back will hardly ever get seen. Well, I'm trying to pick some of the varnish off my fingers. The varnish. My dad's done in here now as well, so I can talk a bit more openly and freely. Yes, the colour has popped now as well on the sides. I'd said that I thought it needed another coat, it just didn't quite look right. As soon as I started putting the next coat on, straight away on one of the sides, because I did go around it with a torch, it had decent reflectivity, but wasn't quite there with the colour and the shine. So as soon as I started on the side, and I was like, okay, that's popped now. It is a nice, slightly deeper, shinier colour. Now obviously I need to let it dry to find out. Now I went with a different technique for this coat. I didn't sand it down beforehand, and I probably should have done, but I had sanded it down for the previous one, and I'm thinking that I'm probably going to sand it down as a finish, so sand it down and then maybe polish it, because it has now had quite a few layers of clear coat. So what I've done slightly differently is I have still applied the varnish with using the sponge. And having watched a few YouTube videos recently, apparently in America they love their. They actually have specific sponges on paintbrush handles, which makes sense to me. I can totally get it. Apparently they're really cheap as well, and they're disposable ones. So I may have to actually look, because for all I know, maybe they exist here as well. So I'm gonna have to have a look for those, because I've definitely preferred using a sponge. And to be fair, a sponge on a handle would be a hell of a lot easier, because having used the scouring pads, not the, well, ones with the scouring pads on the back, it has kind of messed up my fingers a bit. I mean, this finger for some reason hurts, but that's because when I'm holding a sponge, that's the one that's getting used the most, I guess. So, but yeah, my finger hurts. So I applied with the sponge, but then I actually used a clean cloth to just take off the excess, in the hope that it might give a slightly better finish, and it does look like it has been doing. Now, one of the things that I was doing at looking at videos on YouTube was to see exactly how people get that really beautiful, like perfect shine. And there's a number of different ways that people do it, because I mean, it'd be easy for many people to just think, oh well, just put loads on, but it doesn't quite work that way. But it was interesting watching some of the videos, especially with the stain. Now I may have to test this on a piece of wood, because interestingly, I always believed that when it came to applying stain, you should apply the stain with the grain. But from what I've been seeing on YouTube of these like woodworking shows in America, they are literally just applying stain with a cloth and just rubbing loads of it, like literally getting loads of it and putting loads of it on, and then in the way of the grain, wiping off all of the excess. So basically they're applying loads of stain, letting it soak in for a moment, and then wiping off all of the excess in the way of the stain. And from what I could see, it worked quite well. Personally, even if I'd seen that before I started, I probably would not have gone down that route. So yeah, I may have to try it on a piece of wood at some point. But also, I think in America they have different. Admittedly, before anyone decides to go and do what I've just said. Admittedly, they did apply a clear wood. What was it called? Conditioner, right? That basically conditions the wood before applying any stain or varnish. And apparently that does allow you to apply your varnish and stain in a more haphazard way, so to speak. So yeah, but anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how this finish comes up, but I've got to say, it definitely has popped it with the colour. The colour is looking a lot better. Regarding how, in comparison to the top. But obviously I am going to have to go around it at some point, and double check, and I'll take some pictures as per usual. And yeah, and if it's done, I'm not going to do any more on it today, because I want to leave it to dry and to cure and see what it's going to be like next week. And hopefully, because now the sides and the front have had 4 clear coats, So hopefully that's going to be enough. If it needs another one, I'll apply another one. But hopefully next time I'll be able to turn up, look at it and go, yeah, she's done. Get that moved out of the way, do the door. Once the door's done, I can go on. And then we're on to the drawers, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Okay, and actually thinking about it, before I got cut off, I was on the verge of mentioning, I was talking about how this having sort of knocked me back a little bit, which it had, even though I'd learned, it bugged me, it did. And even my dad today, I mean, didn't mean nothing by it, but he saw me applying varnish, so I thought you'd finish that. He says, well, I thought I had, but then I had to do some touch-up work, and I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So yeah, so that had been knocking me back, but for anyone that knows, been watching these from the start, you'll know that I mentioned about my world basically falling apart at a certain point. And the situation with that is still ongoing. So I don't really want to say too much about it, because I don't know too much about it to a degree. Basically, I am involved in a case involving myself and the DWP, which has been ongoing now since 2015. Was it 2016? December 2015, I think. January I think. I'm terrible with remembering stuff. So anyway, there's a lady that is dealing with a case for me. She's been brilliant, and recently I've not heard from her very often, which is understandable. It's an ongoing case and it takes time. You send a letter, it takes time to get a response. And she phoned me the other day, and she said, I've got some good news, and I'm always concerned with when I hear that. And she told me some news which I think is good news, but I don't fully understand the extent of the good news. There are, how can I put it? There's good news, but the good news is also attached to a little bit of a situation where the lady who's dealing with the case for me and some lawyers that are dealing with it on her behalf as well, that she has to get involved, are concerned about it. So basically the DWP have sort of agreed to something but then also disagreed with something, and I think these lawyers are concerned that the reason that they've done that is so that I would just say, okay, yeah, no problem, but it sets a precedent. The words the lady used were, this is a historical law-making decision, which is a bit big. So I still haven't got all the information. I've only got basic information, but obviously that concerned me that it is such a big thing, but at the same time it's why it's been going on so long, because it is a precedent setter, and precedent setters can be massive. They can affect so many people. Now, I haven't got all of the information, as I said, but I did say to the lady that was dealing with me, well, she told me that the lawyers wanted to look into that a little bit more, the part that they have attached. that could set a precedent in the wrong way, as far as they're concerned. And I basically said, I said, well, look, obviously I'd need to know more information. I'd need to know exactly what the score is. But if there's anything that I can do to help set the right precedent for people in the future, then I'm all up for that. Because if that means that people don't have to go through what I've been through, yeah, let's fucking get it sorted. Let's get it sorted properly so that people don't have to go through what I've gone through. Because not only have I gone through it, I was going through shit before, then went through that, and I'm still going through it now, 4 years later. And I am still suffering the consequences of it, like how I felt at the start of this video today. Add to that my back has been crippled. I can't move without my back hurting and cracking, and my neck. I've had a crick, I don't know what you'd call it, a clicking in my neck for, I think, since about January, right? So we're talking 9 months, 10 months, and it's just got worse and worse, and recently it's got even worse. I can't move my head without it going and it hurts as well. It's numb, but it hurts. It's frustrating, and I've been saying for a while I need to go and see a chiropractor, and I'm at the point now where I'm pretty much desperate to go and see a chiropractor, because I think that's adding to why I'm not sleeping properly, and because I'm not sleeping properly, my mind isn't working properly. Anyway, enough of my fucking rambling. The temperature is starting to drop. I think we're getting close to about 6 o'clock now. I'm just going to sort of take some pictures of this. I'll go around it quickly with the camera again. I don't know if it'll look any different on the camera, but I will go around it again. And then, yeah, make sure that it's dry enough for me to put the cover back over it. And then hopefully, as I said, next week we can crack on with the door. I am tempted though to get the door and see what it looks like, or at the moment to give me a heads up as to whether the colour's right. And it's kind of wrapped up at the minute, but you know what I think I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to look so I can at least give myself a heads up as to next time, if this is done, what does need doing with the door. So I think I'm going to grab the door and have a look, and I might even show it in situ. So let's see what that might look like. Ah, no, look at what's happened to the door. That's the floor. Okay, first time the door has been back in the unit. It's not fitted properly, but I think all it needs is clear coats. I mean, the colour is slightly different to the rest of the unit. I expected that. More than likely, I probably could have done one less stain on the door, but you know what? I like it. I do. Right, okay, let's check out the rest of the unit. Still difficult to see how good it is, but you know what, it's got a nice reflection on it on the side. It's not easy to see, I know, but there is a nice reflection on it. And the front is looking a lot better, a hell of a lot better. It's got a nice shine to it. Like I say, it needs time to cure. I mean, there's a reflection of a chair that's just there that you can see, so the shine on it is lovely, even if you can't see it properly. Okay, so I need to do something about that fucking light. Yeah, so the unit is looking good, And the door, I'm quite happy with it. It's been a while since I've seen it, really. So now at least I know next time I'm here, I can whack a couple of clear coats on it, and she's ready. I mean, once that's done and it's dry, I can fit it back in. I can put its lock back in, not that I've got the key, I don't think. But at least I know that I can make progress on that. I'm gonna need to get myself some new sponges as well. I'm running a bit low. Although saying that, I am gonna have a look. I might do Amazon or even B&Q and see if they do sponge brushes. I don't know why I've never looked for them in B&Q before. So I might have to go and have a look. Also, still got the leaking boot. Fucking annoyed with that. Hopefully I'm going to be able to find out where it's not coming in lots, but it's coming in enough for me to notice. So anyway, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get that sorted. What else is so yeah, if I'm on to doing the door next week, I may have to look at bringing the drawers next week, because they are still at mine. But I mean, what are we in now? October, just got into October, and to be honest, I don't think I've got much longer. Sorry, 2:13. I don't think I've got much longer to get this done, because the weather's turning. And if it gets, to be honest, I mean, my last few winters have been absolutely fucking dreadful. So I kind of need to get prepared for another tough winter. But if things carry on as they have been recently, it shouldn't be as tough as it has been before. But if it's cold, I can't function. So if it's cold in here, I ain't going to be able to get anything done. So I'm not that I want to set a time frame on myself, but I've got to consider that there's going to be a period of time where I can't do it. So I want to get this finished before then, which means I now need to take, oh, you know what, on the front of the bottom of the base, I can see a beautiful reflection of the pieces of wood that the base is sitting on. That's fabulous. I can see my fingers in reflection. I can see my fingers. Yeah, okay, that's a lovely shine. This should polish up lovely. It really should. Okay, so yes, I was saying, so now I need to take an even more serious approach to finding some handles, because they will be the final piece of the puzzle. Well, I say that, they should be, but while I've been working on the unit today, I have been working out what am I going to do with the inside. Now, not to say that my mum's an upholsterer, because she isn't, but she can work a bit of magic with a bit of material. I am thinking of getting a thin piece of wood for the inside and the bottom, and I'm thinking potentially green or black leather over it to put in the bottom of the base. Now, the reason I'd do that on a piece of wood is so that it'd be removable. but also to give a front edge, a leading edge. But I do know it's possible to glue materials to wood, so we may actually be able to line the inside of the unit, or at least the sides, just to make it look that little bit better on the inside. So I am going to go and speak to her about that in a moment. So yeah, right, I'm done. I'm going to go because I want to go and spend a bit of time with Mum and Dad. I need to tell them the news I've just mentioned on here. And I also need to spend a bit of time with the dogs because they've been missing me. And then I need to go home, show a few people how to drive, and then have a fucking Chinese because I think I deserve it today, because I've done a hell of a lot more than I thought I would at the start of this. I mentioned about what my plan was. I actually didn't think I was going to get anywhere near any of it done. So the fact that I've actually done it all and an additional coat, I should be very happy with myself, and I shall reward myself with a Chinese. Which one shall I have? The 26-year-old or the 30-year-old? No, I'm joking. I wish. Apparently for £100 you can get them. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Have a good one, folks, and I'll catch you later. See you in a bit. Hello. Try that again, shall I? Second time it's fallen over on me. Fucking hell. Right. Hello everybody, Dave here. It's the day after the last clip. So that was Monday, today's Tuesday. And as you can tell, I'm at home. And the reason for this addition is I got thinking yesterday, obviously, about trying to have a look for sponge brushes. So I had a look on the B&Q website, nothing. Nothing for what I'm looking for anyway. Maybe I searched for the wrong thing, I don't know. But anyway, I went on Amazon, found them straight away, and was actually very surprised at the cost of them. But I thought, well, I'll keep hold of my surprise until I've got them in my hands and I've tried them. Now, to be fair, I ordered them yesterday. Now, there's a pack of 15 with 3 different sizes. So I ordered 2 packs. So I've basically got 30 of these brushes. And I'd need to double check. I'm pretty sure it was only about £5. No, I think it was £5 for 15. So it may have been a tenner for 30 of them. But either way, a tenner for 30 brushes, not too bad. And to be fair, they've turned up today. I mean, I did put it on the 1-day delivery. It was $4.99 to have it delivered on Thursday, or $4.99 to have it delivered the next day. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do it the next day. So they have turned up, and they are definitely cheap. I mean, for example, this one, it's not even on straight, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the cost is, as in it doesn't matter how cheap it is, if it works. And that's the key point. Now, looking at this, I know I tried, if you remember a while ago, sister-in-law Claire gave me some makeup sponges to use to get into some of the grooves and stuff. She thought it might be useful. Unfortunately, they were too soft and they did disintegrate as well. But this is pretty much the same, because as you'll see, it's got a tapered edge. So that's for getting into grooves. So with there being 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large, means I should be able to have a lot of fun with these. Now, admittedly, the large, well, I was going to say the large isn't very big, but if I actually compare it to the size of the sponges I've been using, I'd probably say the medium is a tiny little bit wider than the sponges I've been using. So this sponge would have been useful for everything I've done so far, with the medium and small being ever so useful for I mean, this small one, for example, this would have been extremely useful for the front edge, the front of the unit. I mean, okay, I could have just cut down a sponge to fit to be the right size anyway, but I did try that once. I wasn't too keen on it, but because this is already cut to size, it's got a cleaner edge. So yeah, these potentially could have been very useful already. Now, because I've got the door to do, which has got quite a few grooves in them, or in it, these are going to be very useful. Also, it's got some not very wide panels on it and some very narrow panels, so, and a lot of edges to get into, so it'll be interesting to see how these cope. And if they work well, then these should really help with the drawers. And the reason for that, I'm thinking for that, is the sides of the drawers that I have been trying to masking tape off, I've been doing so I can get a nice clean edge on my varnishing. But that's what this would allow me to do, potentially. Be able to actually sort of go right up to an edge. Let's see if I can do it on the camera in reverse. So right up to an edge like that against the wall in the background, and then spread varnish across. I wasn't planning on doing that, it just happened like that. So these could be very, very useful. Now, the reason I've got so many is because these are not really used for multi-purpose, so using them again and again and again and again and again. But admittedly, okay, they might be glued in. One of the smalls, this one, yeah, I think it's meant to be glued in. So this small one, it was actually detached in the pack. So it's either supposed to be glued in, or you may be able to get additional heads, I'm not sure. But at the cost of them, I mean, if I'd have spent a tenner on all of these, would I have used them all by now? Potentially. If I think big one for the main coats on the top of the unit, for example. So I would have probably have used one of these per 2 coats, because leaving time to get a third coat on is like 3-4 hours from doing the first. Yeah, difficult to have got it done. So one of these per 2 coats, and in total the top has had 7 coats, I think, about 7 coats. So 3.5 of these, so 4 of these would have done it. So I would have had a couple of the large ones left over. So I probably would have been able to do the majority of the unit with these 2 packs. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give these a try, definitely, next week. Because I'm interested. I'm very. To be honest, it's odd, right? Because I know I've been mentioning recently about how I've not been very motivated. The fact that I knew last night that these were going to be coming today, as soon as I woke up today, I was thinking, have they come yet? And as soon as I realised they had come, apologies to my neighbour, by the way, I don't know if he had to wake up to answer the door, because I didn't wake up. I've been tempted to go over to my folks and give them a try, and that's a motivation I've not had for a while. But admittedly, I'm not physically up to it today. I am in a lot of pain, so I'm not up to it today anyway. But I do want to go and see how they do. Now, one of the things that I was thinking was, oh, maybe I could like go and pick up some of the varnish. I mean, I could drive to B&Q, which is not very far away from me, and pick up another tin of varnish to save me having to drive even further away to my folks to pick up what's there. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to go rush it. Like, everything is easily accessible and easily done at my dad's workshop. So I do kind of need to wait, but I think there's a chance if I'm physically up to it, I'm probably going to try and go round before Monday, because I'm definitely interested to see how these do. But also, I know James, he has recently gone to applying paint with sponges. If I could be wrong, I'm sure he told me that he tried using a sponge for applying paint. I was like, all right, how'd you go? It's fine. So I've got one of the big car sponges and just use that. And it does work. I've found it a hell of a lot better using sponges than paintbrushes. So anyway, right, I'm going to bugger off. Well, I'm not going to bugger off. I'm staying exactly here, but I'm going to turn the camera off. And I'm going to let James know about these and let him know how I get on with them, because I think he'd find these very useful as well. And obviously next week when I do come to use them, we'll see how I get on with them. What I might do is, I probably won't remember this if I do them, woohoo. If I remember, I might do a little sort of example test on a piece of wood and show a paintbrush versus a sponge versus these brushes to see what difference they make. Anyway, I also might not do that because, to be honest, my memory's screwed, which is why I'm recording this the day after. Anyway, have a good one, folks, and hopefully I'll see you soon.